Hey guys, Derek and
Paula here
from Back to Reality. So a little over a month ago, we planted a whole bunch of carrots, radishes, and onions, all within the same Ruth Stout permaculture garden bed.
and we've already been reaping the rewards.
Come check it out. So as some of you will remember, back in the fall, we started this garden bed by literally taking a chunk of lawn and covering it with a whole bunch of spoiled hay. Then we left it for the winter, and then in the spring, we simply pulled some of that hay apart and started planting our seeds and the onion bulbs directly into the ground that, again, used to be essentially just lawn. And now, as you'll see, what we have is definitely no longer lawn. As part of our experiment, we wanted to make sure that we didn't weed or water this. We wanted to see how this method worked completely on its own without any help from us. And though there are a lot of weeds and grasses and clovers and other things starting to sprout through, I think you'll agree that this experiment has so far been pretty successful. So check out this radish and carrot row right here. We planted both of these different types of seeds all within the same row, and they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do.
See? A radish!
So the reason why we planted our radishes and carrots all together is because the carrots take a much longer time to actually start sprouting than the radishes do. And so instead of trying to thin out all of our carrots, if we were to just plant them by themselves, we planted a bunch of radishes in between. And so as we start picking these guys, they leave the space for the carrots to grow nice and large so that we can harvest them later on in the season. And so far, that system seems to be working perfectly. As you can see, we've got all of these little carrots starting to grow up here. And in between them are all of these fully mature radishes. And as I pick this guy, there's now a space left in between for these carrots to get much bigger.
I left a big space with that one. It's the cutest little radish in the world.
So obviously our carrots and radishes are doing exactly what they're supposed to do in this system, but let's take a look at the onions. So we've planted literally hundreds of onions in between all of our carrots and radishes. And while we really love onions and cook with them regularly, nobody could eat that many full-sized onions in one season. But luckily, all of these onions can be picked whenever they're really young, because as many of you probably know, young onions are green onions. So full-sized onions are usually picked once all of their green tops get all brown and yellow and kind of dead looking. But in the meantime, we can be picking a lot of these onions as green onions and eat them for their tops.
Oh, that's a little ball.
Yeah, that's a nice big one.
So we've planted many different types of onions. Not only do we have the Spanish and the shallots and cooking onions, we also have red onions.
So we've been picking radishes and green onions for about 2 weeks now, and they're coming along really well. And the carrots are doing pretty good too, but they're obviously nowhere near ready to harvest. So we're going to continue to pick some of these radishes and green onions in the meantime, and hopefully make enough room for them to grow nice and big. But we'll let you know as soon as that happens, so stick around and we'll give you an update as soon as we have another one. See you soon.